on our video that no one asked for. If you're tired of your boring, common, and organic plants, keep watching and enjoy it. Let's go! As per usual, I like to start with some references, and boy oh boy, I found plenty. There are some talented artists out there who made some fantastical artworks, of which were essential in the production of the assets shown later on in this video. I edited it in some credits with their names, in the case any of you would like to visit and praise more of the works on the internet. I wanted something credible, yet out of place, since what I wanted to make doesn't exist in real life, but at the same time could possibly exist. This is a principle in most fantasy settings. This section covers how I sculpted my assets. I will add some timestamps in the video description below, so you may quickly navigate through whatever you want to in this video. So, if for example you wish to go straight for the final renders, you just click on the respective timestamp of your choice. As you can see on your screen, I am sculpting multiple crystals. Those seem like quite a good idea to use as part of the plants, since they look quite good as glowing light sources and match quite well with bright and saturated colors. All of that without stripping the final asset's natural feel to it. I really like to make multiple versions of a same mesh, just so I can decide better what looks good and what doesn't later on. You can notice this habit of mine consistently throughout this video. In total, I have made about 10 different crystals, all with their own shapes, sizes, and carvings specific for what I need. For this next set of crystals, I've decided to start from primitive shapes. Every time you 3D model sculpt, it's always a good idea to start off of shapes that are the simplest, yet the closest from your overall final shape you want to achieve. Most artists do this way. As a matter of fact, it would be somewhat foolish not to do that. Those crystals have a more flat, even less shaped size if you will, and in my mind it would be great to simulate, say, leaves from some plant. Except it is a mineral plant with crystal parts in it. Like some underground cave with things you wouldn't expect to find around the surface. A hidden world. Finally, for the last set, I've decided to aim for a more spherical shape, slowly chipping, flattening, and carving away the roundness of the spherical primitives. I really like how even something that looks nothing like a rock, such as a sphere, can just end up looking like some sort of crystal or whatever. Obviously, I'm trying to reimagine what nature has to offer in alternative iterations, if you will. Regardless, I really like the end result. They really do look like natural, plant-like minerals, if you will. To finish the plan, I obviously had to work on its stem. To do this, I quickly sketch away the shape I want in Z-spheres until I'm happy with the form. Since it's a plant, it's important to curve along, and most importantly, when you're a plant, you should always aim to the top. After all that, I had some pretty bold and interesting idea. Add organic things to non-organic shapes. As you can see, look quite freaky, but perfect for this project. Really like how it turned out. Crystals don't have those in real life. At least not usually. The stand looked too boring geometrical, so I had to detail it up and make it look like an actual tree branch or something. I want to respect the direction of its creases and ridges run along the branch, but at the same time make it twist enough to look rough. Like tree bark is in real life. Dogs are not included. Ha! Silly pun! You see what I did there? Cringy, I know. Anyway, back to the artsy details. If you look closely, you can check in the ridge for your future. Somehow, what is your wavy paths, up and downs in life, with the occasional stroke of luck alongside a chill, very fruitful Tuesday, and a pinch of other cheap horoscope predictions for the week. Look, that one says you get married, but only if you like this video. Didn't see it? Sorry, not coming back. Tank travels only for the cool kids if you didn't make the cut. Hey, I don't make the rules. If you get angry, don't hate the play, I hate the game. Instead, you're watching my video, for example. Just kidding, I think you are cool. in my heart. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Hashtag heart emoji. Anyway, pathetic attempts at jokes aside, you can see now that gradually there is more and more detail in the mesh as I go further and further. This is because I keep adding more and more digital clay to what I'm working with. If you go with my little analogy, that is. It means it has more details. And it also means that I can work with more advanced brushes, and certain brushes are going to start to have more noticeable effects, where previously they wouldn't have. The branch looked rather simple, so I also decided to use the snake hook brush to add additional ramifications to the plant. Roots branch out quite a lot in real life if you observe them carefully, so naturally I had to copy this project as well. Once the bifurcations are completed, I have to then further add details to the trunk and now the roots parts as well. The details and carving really do take shape more and more as I keep adding more resolution to the mesh. During this stage, you can truly see the details finally bearing fruits. Since it's a tree, get it? Anyway, it looks somewhat weird on the bottom of it, but since those will be buried on a scene, this won't matter in the end. So besides that, there's not much more to add. It's really kind of, nauseating to see me spinning around, rotating a little bit. I apologize if you felt like that. Wasn't my intention, but it's best this way so you can actually see all the details being slowly carved away into a time lapse. If you notice, the camera always follows the path of my strokes, whatever I am using to mesh. Finally, this is the end result on the turntable. You keep spinning and spinning and spinning a little bit more. Check it out. And finally, the renders. I did a normal crystal and a corrupted version of it. Here's some side-by-side to compare both. Really pleased with how those two turn out to be in the end. It's very important to have vision while you are doing in any artistic field. And here's a close-up of both crystals. Notice the veins? And here's another version in Toon shader. Some different NPR style renders that I use for this project. As a small bonus, I would like to quickly recreate what I previously did in the format of another plant, more or less with the same mineral plant idea in mind. All of that while it's freestyle in the commentary. As you can see, I just repeat, the Z-sphere sketch, and I quickly then go for the leaves this time. I use this insert brush and I start to, figure out where to put the leaves and all that. It's very useful for artists to have their own materials and all their brushes. And Zbrush is not a software that is an exception to this rule. By the way, it's the software I'm using for this project. And as you can see, I'm trying to replicate more or less how leaves would be in real life, and then this is where the main crystal is gonna be. I'm using a primitive sphere in order to figure out where I'm gonna put the crystals and all. And finally, I put the crystal. Right after that, I put the stands, and then I dynamesh them and do the same what I did previously with the tree trunk, the branch rather. And I keep modeling more and more and more, fiddling with it, and then I add some stem insertion where the rest of the plant is going to be at. And as you can see, I aim for something more like that, divides in 4 subcategories. This will actually increase in size, as you can see. And I decided to, mask some parts and whatnot in order to be easier for me to sculpt. Yeah, now you can see it. Now you can see as it's taking more and more of a shape of an actual tree and an actual stand. No, not a tree actually, like a flower, you could say. A mineral flower. And as you can see, then I go for the ground now, and I saw it was a good idea to put some leaves on the ground to, mask out the insertion with the ground, and then I put some extra leaves and whatnot. And as the same what I did previously, I keep selecting each leaf and doing what I must, and making it more, and voila, it goes into perfection and fruition. I really like how it ended up in the end. And after this is all done, I then have to also render, and this is the result in NPR. It looks just like a drawing, and this concludes my workflow. Like, share, subscribe, and thank you for watching.